All right, Panthers, here we go. We're doing customary unit conversions. First thing is to get out your notebooks. Oh, get out your notebook. The one with the table of contents. Put down the date and customary unit conversions. You can see for me, this is actually my second to most recent one right there. So customary unit conversions, the date, the period number, page number, sorry. Get the page number, the title, everything there. Go to whatever page you're on. When you get to that page, write down customary units. We'll start with units of capacity. Okay, so let's start with 1 gallon. Okay, so gallon is abbreviated GAL, and 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. All right. Now, if you have 1 quart, abbreviated QT, that is equal to 2 pints, abbreviated PT. So again, 1 gallon is 4 quarts, 1 quart is 2 pints. If you've got 1 pint, that is equivalent to 2 cups. Abbreviation is just the letter C. And if you've got 1 cup, that is 8 fluid ounces. Ounces is OZ, so fluid ounces is FLOZ. All right, so those are units of capacity. There we go. That's pretty much all you need to know for that. So get that copy down. I'm about to erase the board to give you some more units. So if you need to pause the video, then pause the video. All right, let's do units of weight. Okay, so if you've got 1 ton, abbreviation is just the letter T. That is equal to 2,000 pounds. Pounds is abbreviated LB. If you've got 1 pound, that is 16 ounces. Remember, ounces is OZ. And that's pretty much all you've got to know for weight and the customary units. So if you need to pause the video to copy that down, pause it. I'm going to give you some more units to write down. All right, let's do length. Okay, if you've got 1 mile, abbreviated MI, that is 5,280 feet. FT for feet. Also, 1 mile is 1,760 yards. Abbreviated YD. And if you've got 1 yard, that is equivalent to 3 feet. And if you've got 1 foot, that is equivalent to 12 inches. Inches is IN. There you go. Okay, so make sure you have all these conversions written down. If you need to pause the video, pause the video. I don't think that they have units of time on the quiz, but you should also know that for units of time, if you've got 1 hour, HR, that is 60 minutes. And you should know that if you've got 1 minute, that is 60 seconds. All right, so these are all the different conversions that we can make some, or different units that we can make some conversions for, which we'll do in a second. All right, so You could use proportions to make these conversions. You could use equivalent ratios like we've been doing. However, I think it's easier just to kind of think about it this way. If you're going from a big unit to a small unit, you're going to multiply to get there. But if you're going from a small unit to a bigger unit, you're going to divide to get there. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's say we've got 80 quarts. And they want to know, well, how many gallons is that? 80 quarts equals how many gallons? So these are the types of questions you're going to get to the quiz. 80 quarts is how many gallons? So look at your conversions and try to see which is bigger, the quarts or the gallons. Actually, that brings me to something else that we could draw in our notes that would help you. But in this case, gallons are bigger, quarts are smaller. So we're going from a smaller unit to a bigger unit. So if we're going from a smaller unit to a bigger unit, we're going to divide. So we're going to take 80, we're going to divide it to get the answer. So then you've got to look at your conversions. How many quarts make up a gallon? So when you look back in your notes that we just did, you'll see that 4 quarts make up a gallon. That tells you to divide it by 4. 80 divided by 4 is 20, so the answer is 20 gallons. There you go. So now, when I was doing this problem, I was just realizing all those conversions we did when it comes to like the quarts and the gallons and the pints and the cups and the fluid ounces, I always refer back to this picture. You might have made gallon man in elementary school, so gallon man is a way to kind of visualize that, but I refer back to this picture. So go ahead and draw this in your notes as well. Draw a really big G. That really big G represents a gallon. So again, this gallon should take up like almost the whole page because we want it to be really big. Now a gallon is made up of 4 quarts. And again, this is all information that's in your notes already, but here's a visualization to represent it. So a gallon is 4 quarts. So we're going to put 4 quarts in the gallon like this. All right, every gallon is made up of 4 quarts. Every quart is made up of 2 pints. So we'll do 2, letter P, to represent the pints inside of each quart. 2 pints in every quart. Every pint is made up of 2 cups. So we'll go inside of every pint, we'll go CC, CC, and these are the cups. Inside the pint, every pint has 2 cups, like that. Now, if I could take a magnifying glass and go inside of those little cups, I'd put 8 fluid ounces in there, but that's going to be too small to draw. So every cup is 8 fluid ounces, every pint is 2 cups, every 2 pints makes up a quart, and it takes 4 quarts to make up the gallon. This picture is what I always kind of think in my mind to make these conversions. So if you need to pause the video to copy down this picture, pause the video, but let me show you again how we could use some of that information. All right, so let's say we have something like this. 19.26 cups is equal to how many pints? All right, so in the quiz, they give you questions like this with decimals in it. So you could use a calculator in the quiz to make these decimals a little bit easier. But if you look at that picture that we just drew, are cups bigger or smaller than pints? So when you look at the picture, you'll see that cups are smaller, pints are bigger. So we're going from small to big. We're going to divide again. So we're going to take 19.26. We're going to divide it to get the answer. Now divide it by what? So the question is, how many cups make up a pint? So either when you look in your notes where we wrote that down, or if you look at the picture, it's 2 cups that make up a pint. That's why we'll divide by 2. So again, then you could just grab your calculator if you want to. You could divide it by hand as well. This one's not too bad. 19.26 divided by 2. That equals 9.63. And these are the types of questions you're going to have on the quiz. It is open calculator. Let's do a few more examples. Let's say it was 895.75 fluid ounces, and they want to know how many cups. 895.75 fluid ounces, how many cups is that? And once again, we're going from small to big. I need to make an example where we go big to small. But once again, this is small to big, so we're going to divide to get the answer, because fluid ounces are small compared to cups, which are bigger. So it's going to be 895.75 divided by Divided by what? Well, if you look at your notes, how many fluid ounces make up a cup? That's what we divide by. And it is 8. So it's going to be 895.75 divided by 8. And the answer is 111.96875. Thank goodness for the calculator. All right, so again, these have all been small to big. Let's try to come up with one that goes big to small. So let's say we've got 8.6 quarts. 9 gallons, quarts. All right, 8.6 quarts. And we're trying to convert these into how many pints? Okay, so looking at your notes, which is bigger, quarts or pints? So quarts are bigger, so we're going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit. So when we go big to small, we're going to multiply. So we're going to take 8.6 and we're going to multiply. Now, multiply by what? So you've got to look at your notes. How many pints make up a quart? And if you look at the picture or if you look at the notes, it was 2 pints that make up a quart, so we'll multiply it by 2. Again, if you want your calculator for this, you can. I think we did this mentally. It's going to be 17.2. 17.2 pints is the answer. Okay, these have all been so far different units of capacity, but let's try one of the ones for length. Let's say it was something like 2.72 miles. We have to convert it into how many yards is that? 2.72 miles is how many yards? So think, are we going from big to small, or is this small to big? Well, miles are bigger than yards, so we're going big to small. That tells us we need to multiply to get the answer. So it's going to be 2.72 multiplied by what? So look in your notes. How many yards make up a mile? That's what we need to multiply by. And your notes will tell you it's 1,760 yards that make up a mile. So grab the calculator. 2.72 times 1,760. And the answer is 4,787.2 yards is equivalent to 2.72 miles. So again, this works with any of those units we did. It works with miles and yards, it works with inches and feet, it works with seconds and hours. Let's do just one or two more examples. Let's see here. Let's do one with weight. So let's say we had 986 ounces, and we wanted to know how many pounds is that. 986 ounces is equal to how many pounds? Is this big to small, or is it small to big? If we're talking about ounces going to pounds. If you said it's small to big, you are correct, which tells us we need to divide. So 986 divided by what? Divided by how many ounces make up a pound? So look back in your notes. And it is 16 ounces that make up a pound. So divide by 16. You could do this by hand. I'm going to use the calculator. Either way, the quiz is open calculator. It is 61.625. And there's your answer. All right, let's see. We'll do one more example. Let's see here. We'll do 5.45 tons is equal to how many pounds? 5.45 tons is equivalent to how many pounds? This one is big to small. Tons are big compared to pounds, which are smaller. So we're going to have to multiply to get the answer. So 5.45 multiplied by how many pounds make up a ton? You look back to your notes to find out that it is 2,000 pounds that make up a ton. So the answer is going to be 5.45 times 2,000. And the answer to the question is 10,900. All right, so there's making conversions in the customary system. Next is going to be metric system conversions. That'll be in your next video. It is still going to involve multiplying and dividing, but it's going to be a little different than this. It's actually a little bit easier than this is, but this is still pretty easy. Just find out your conversion. Is it big to small, or is it small to big? So if it's big to small, multiply by the conversion rate. If it's small to big, divide by the conversion rate. And then the notes give you the conversion rates. It's how many pounds or how many ounces are in a pound, or how many pounds are in a ton. All those numbers, those are the conversion rates. All right, Panthers, well, have a good day. Make sure to watch the next video, which is about metric conversions.